I'm testing out a new minimalist camp setup compared to what I usually use to see if it's going to earn its place on the Jeep. So in this video, I'm going to break down why I'm trying something new, share some details along the way, and ultimately let you know what I don't like about this, as well as what I really do. And then I'll let you know if this is going to earn a spot on the Jeep for future adventures. One thing I've learned over the years is that sometimes the biggest obstacle to getting out isn't the trail, it's your gear. Look, my rooftop tent, super comfortable, super easy to use, but it adds a lot of weight up high on the roof. And sometimes that isn't the best idea when you're on certain trails. And my drifter tent, love that thing. Super easy to use, super fast setup, but it's long and it's kind of heavy. So it takes up a lot of room on the roof and I can't really fit it inside the Jeep. Let's face it, when your setup is super big or complicated, you start to second guess whether short trips like this are even worth it or not. So for the past couple months, I've been looking for something that's a little bit smaller and still checks all the boxes. And I think I may have found it. So tonight, I'm gonna see if this new setup actually solves my problem or if it's time to keep searching. Now this is one of my favorite campsites. I've been here a couple times. It's very familiar, it's easy to get to, and it's a great testing ground for what we're about to do. Now, it's just that time. We got to find out if this thing's actually going to work. After a long winter, it's really hard to know what the conditions are going to be. Didn't know if I was going to find mud, snow. I knew the ground was probably going to be soft because a couple weeks ago we had about 3 feet of snow back here. Now one advantage to a simple setup is just that. It's simple. You don't need much. Just a good, safe, flat camp spot will do the trick. Now let's see if this tent is actually going to live up to what caught my attention. So this is my first real test of the DoD Outdoors Puplike tent. What really caught my attention was how compact it is. And that is incredibly important when you have a Jeep Wrangler and space is quite limited. The awning structure was really interesting to me too. It gives you a little covered area outside the tent, which really could be useful if the weather turns. This is mainly a single person tent. Now I could see my little golden retriever birdie jumping in there with me, but for the most part, you're not going to get 2 people in it. And look, if something like this works out for me, it could really save me on a lot of bulk for certain trips, especially like this. But cold weather and real conditions are going to expose weaknesses really fast. It's barely March here, so tonight is going to tell us if this tent actually earns its place on my Jeep. So let's get this thing set up. One thing I always pay attention to on trips like this is how the system works as a whole. It's not just the tent, it's how everything fits together, how fast you can set up, how easy it is to organize your gear, and whether the system makes the trip easier or harder. Good gear doesn't just work well, it removes friction, so you actually want to get out and do this more often. The other piece to this system tonight is how I'm going to cook. This here is the Ignik Skulllet portable heater stove. It's a combination of a propane heater stove and a cast iron cooktop. I'm really excited to give this a try and see if it's going to be up for the task. One thing that I'm really trying to do more of is cook real meals when I'm out on the trail with the kids. And a lot of places that we go, especially in the summer, have massive fire restrictions. So traditional campfires aren't always an option. And that is what really caught my attention with this, having heat and cooking all in one system. As you know, space can be very limited in a Jeep. If one piece of gear can handle cooking and heat when I'm out on the trail and the Jeep is already full with my kids and all the stuff, this might just be a win. But cold nights, that's where systems like this either shine or become incredibly frustrating. And we're about to find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This pair of pants has 9 pockets in it, and that's exactly why I choose to wear them on the trail. These are the Trailblazer pants from Off the Grid Surplus. They're made from durable stretch canvas with pre-bent knees and that 9-pocket layout I was just talking about. And honestly, these are incredibly comfortable when I hop in and out of the Jeep and ride for long days. If you want to pick up a pair of these, check out the link in my description and use Path to Rome 15 for 15% off today. This is the part that most people don't think about when they imagine camping. It's not the driving, it's not the gear, it's that moment where everything just slows down and you're just sitting out here in the quiet, enjoying the fire. Trips like this, they're honestly exactly what keeps the adventure alive inside of me. Every single night out can just simply reset your perspective. You saw that when I was cooking, it was about 37 degrees outside. I'm obviously outside, and this little semi-enclosed area is actually trapping some heat pretty decently, and sitting at about 46 degrees right here on my lap according to my thermometer. But the real test for this gear hasn't even happened yet. Just finished dinner. It's about 7 o'clock. Temperature's dropping. It's getting pretty dark out. Before you know it, it's going to be pretty chilly tonight. So we're going to see how this gear does when the temperature really drops. All right, this is where the real test starts. Up until this point, everything's been pretty good. Setup wasn't too bad. Cooking was super easy. The fire pit was warm. Everything looks great. The awning and the little windbreaker did really good out there. Once you crawl into bed and that temperature drops, that's when you find out if this setup actually works. This compact size is definitely a benefit for packing in the Jeep. If it's going to earn a spot on my rig, it's got to be able to make it through the cold and be a reliable shelter for the night. And really, this is why I always say the gear has to earn its place in my Jeep. It's easy to like something in theory, but it's a lot different when you're relying on it for shelter. So far, I definitely believe this setup has made this trip feel simple and easy. We're going to see if it still feels like a good idea when I wake up in the morning. See you in a bit. Man, that was a cold night. There's frost on pretty much everything this morning, and to be honest, that kind of night is something that tells you more about a product than any product page will. Any setup, anything you use is ultimately gonna tell you whether or not it makes your life easier out here and better, or just gives you a reason to stay home. And that's what I'm paying attention to this morning. I'm gonna cook a little breakfast here, but you know, ultimately, we gotta know if these products are gonna hold up in the real world, especially when conditions aren't the best. And this is why small one-night trips like this are great, because you get to test your systems and figure out if they're gonna work for longer trips. So now that the night's over, the real question is, did these systems solve the problem that I was having and provide me with a good solution? When I think about this tent, breaking camp is just as important as setting up. No one wants to spend a ton of time breaking their gear down, trying to get packed up and get on the trail, or to go home. If everything that you have takes too long to pack up, it's just not worth it. If you've ever been out on small trips or big trips, you get what I'm saying. Good systems are going to remove that friction on both ends, setting up and breaking down. So now, let's talk about whether or not this setup is going to earn a spot on my Jeep. Coming into this, I already knew some of the trade-offs. So this trip was really about one thing. Can a smaller setup actually be useful when I'm out on the trail? And same thing with the Skulllet. I wasn't looking for a new gadget. I was looking for something that was purposeful, could provide heat when fire restrictions were in place, and give me a good place to cook for myself as well as my family and kids when we're all together. So after a night out here, here's my honest take. So first, I want to talk about what I don't like about this tent. So number one, that pole and stake setup absolutely requires ground that you can penetrate and is at least soft enough to get the stakes in. In a lot of cases, that's probably going to be fine. However, I do like to travel deep into the Sierras where you're just driving across granite for days. So a tent like this really isn't going to get the job done because I don't have anything I can stake it to. Now campsites like this, general wood stuff, a lot of the trails that are out there too, like, it's probably going to be fine, but that is a little bit of a hang up for me. All right, number two, the setup itself really wasn't that bad. It took me probably 5 minutes to pop the thing up, which I don't think is too bad for a tent. You know, my drifter tent sets up in literally like 30 seconds. And third, for how small that tent is and how small it packs up, it's actually pretty heavy. I think it comes in at like 25 pounds. It doesn't really matter to me because I'm not carrying it anywhere other than from my Jeep to where I'm going to set it up. But I would never recommend this to like a backpacker style person. It's a lot of weight to carry around. Now I think a lot of the weight comes from the heavy duty construction. Like the fabric on the tent is actually very thick and durable, and it did a good job of holding heat last night. So that's part of it, but it's definitely not a light, easy to move around tent. You know, and I think one other thing that I kind of noticed through the night, everything held up fine. Nothing collapsed, nothing came in, nothing, you know, settled down, nothing like that. I set my diesel heater up just in case it got super cold last night. I didn't end up using it, but there's not a designated port for it, so that's fine. Most tents don't have that, but I would put it through the window. However, the windows don't actually open. It just opens a flap, and then there's just a screen, so there's no entry there. And then the front entrance is a kind of a three-way zipper that opens up on both sides, but all the zippers come to the middle, so I had to run everything right up to the middle where I go in and out, and there's no other port of entry for cords or the heater hose itself. Okay, now let's talk about what I did like about it. Aside from the weight, the biggest advantage for me is how compact it actually is. It really takes up a tiny amount of room in my Jeep. Don't really need a lot of extra cabin space. There's more than enough room just for myself to sleep in there. I really like the awning design. I thought that was really nice last night sitting out there. I think it's going to be nice in the summertime as well. Just kind of gives you that little bit of enclosure. That forward sheet kind of helps contain a little bit of heat and wind. I thought that was a pretty nice little setup. I guess the big question is does this tent replace other tents on my Jeep? And honestly, the answer is no, but it does have a place for certain trips and certain things I want to do, because I really did like the style, and I like the setup, and I like the simplicity of having just a small sleeping space with the outdoor awning. So I'm going to have to be a little bit selective with what trips I bring my rooftop, which trips I bring my drifter, and which trips I bring this Puplike tent from DoD Outdoors. All right, now let's talk about the Skulllet from Ignik Outdoors. I actually love that thing. I think it's super cool. The heat that it gave off was more than adequate. You could feel it when you were sitting right next to it. My legs were actually getting pretty hot. The cast iron pan to cook on was great. It cooked my food super hot and fast. I gotta tweak with some settings a little bit just to figure out, like, you know, high, low, where everything works, but that's just going to take a little bit of time to figure out. But I think it's going to be a great tool to have for heat as well as cooking for my family. I will say it's a little bit heavy. Can be somewhat hard to move around, but I think once you get it in its place, and it's going to do its job and have a good outcome. Honestly, it does save me a lot of space inside the Jeep. I'm going to mount my propane tank to the outside of my Jeep here at some point soon, but ultimately it's a space saver, and it knocks two needs out with one unit, and I really enjoyed it and look forward to using it on many adventures to come, especially in the summer when burn restrictions are at their peak. So overall, the system was a success. It has some pros, it has some cons, but ultimately I do think that both of these can be enabling to help me getting out more and using my Jeep and being on the trail and camping. And that's really the biggest takeaway from this trip. I'm not trying to build the biggest, baddest setup that ever was. I'm trying to find something that works for my systems and for what I need. And really, that's what Path to Roam's all about. It's about making adventure look accessible and easy, not complicated. So full disclosure, DoD Outdoors did send me this Puplike tent and that chair to try out, but they gave me full range of how I wanted to review it and talk about it. I do have an affiliate link in the description below if you're interested in checking it out. There's also a link down there for Ignik Outdoors in case you wanted to check out the Skulllet or anything else that they have. But more important than that, this trip was a reminder that if you have a window, take it. You don't need a reason to go. You just need a system that's going to help you say yes. And if you enjoyed this video, check this one out next. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next one.